Life is unpredictable. So I say that because I get on this app every day and I hear people make pronouncements as if that's the only possible outcome of the situation that they're describing. And life just does not work that way. And advice just does not work that way. People and situations can be very unpredictable. Now, there are best case scenarios, there are best practices. As a teacher, it's Teacher Education Week, National Educator Week. As a teacher, we go over best practices in a lot of staff development, but we understand that we're dealing with individuals, and individuals have individual makeups. So you could have twins with the same family and the same DNA, and they will have very different reactions to the same exact stimuli. That is life. And so we can't act like, we have cracked the code on human behavior, on human decisions, on relationships. We can only implement best practices and get as much knowledge as we can, follow our intuition, look for green flags and red flags. Those are things we can do. So knowledge is always powerful and helpful, but there are no guarantees. And I was reminded of this when I saw a article that was talking about the unpredictability of biology. There was a woman that was having some liver problems, and she went in for some testing. She had 3 children, 3 biological children that she gave birth to. And when she went in for the testing to see if any of them could be a donor for her, the shot came back that 2 of them were not her kids. And she's like, how is this possible? I was pregnant with them, I gave birth to them. But when they looked a little further, they realized that she had 2 genetic sequences. Basically, she was a chimera. She was a woman who was created from 2 sets of DNA. So when she was in her mother's womb, there were 2 eggs that were fertilized, and those 2 eggs happened to basically merge. So instead of twins being created, one human being was created with 2 sets of DNA. So one of her children is her biological child with her DNA, like one strand of DNA, and the other 2 have a totally different strand of DNA from what is ostensibly her twin. That is how unpredictable life is. Another example, there was a company that decided to clone a cat. They thought that they were going to be able to make a lot of money by cloning people's pets, and the person would get back the exact same animal with the same, traits of the original. The very first cat that they cloned was a calico. So it had orange, black, and gray stripes on a white cat. The cat that was created, that was the clone cat, lost the orange. The DNA that had orange in it didn't express itself in the new cat. So scientists have told us for a long time that what is in our genetic code doesn't always get expressed. You could have the gene for a certain disease or a certain diagnosis, but you don't ever develop it because of your lifestyle, because of your environment, because of your habits that actually keep that gene from being expressed. That's how much power we have through our mindset and through our behavior and through our environment. But it also lets us know that we have to be flexible, and we have to understand that we are human beings and there's only so much in our control, and there are things that are completely out of our control. And sometimes when people act as if everything is in their control, that can become a prison of the mind, because they're not open to anything else. They're not open to thinking about new possibilities. They're not open to alternatives. They think they know it all. And those people can become very dogmatic and very rigid. And sometimes those are the kinds of people that create movements based on their rigidity that try to make other people adhere to what they believe is fact. And it's not fact, because there's always exceptions to almost anything that you would come up with. And so we have to be tolerant. We have to be open-minded if we're going to be logical, because acting otherwise is really acting irrationally and illogically and not realizing that we are part of nature, and nature is unpredictable. It has cycles, but even within those cycles, there are things that you would see that are unexpected. So we can see patterns, we can see tendencies, but we can't predict the future, and we can't predict every outcome from every person that's around us, and we definitely can't control those things. We can just get informed and make the best decisions that we can with the information that we have, and continually be learning. And that's one of my goals when I post, is to be continually learning along with my audience, and to give them food for thought so that they can be continually learning, because that's how we grow, and that's how our world, I believe, gets to be a better place where all of us are healthier and more fulfilled. May you walk in synergy. Life is unpredictable. So I say that because I get on this app every day and I hear people make pronouncements